Jaime Black here backstage at the House of Blues for Red Bull Sound Select, and I'm here with the fabulous gentlemen from Gemini Club. How are you guys doing tonight?
Hi.
Hey, Jaime.
Very much veterans of this podcast. I think we've had you guys on 30 times now.
It's the 32nd time.
32nd time. How are you guys doing? You guys are performing tonight as part of this Red Bull Sound Select event here.
Yeah, doing great. Very excited.
Yeah. You guys, this is not your first Red Bull Sound Select. It's not your first rodeo. You guys were at least one more, right?
We're doing this. We did one with Crystal Larkin. We're doing the Red Bull Sound Select for the Cultural Collide Festival in L.A.
Oh, wow. So you're getting to move out of Chicago with it as well.
Correct, yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah. And I've heard cool things about that conference and festival. What are you guys going to be doing there? You're performing live, but is it a one-day event? Is it a 5-day event? Or
I'm not sure. I know we perform one day, and then we were going to string together some shows for the left coast and see what happens.
I like it, man. So Gemini Club, I know that you guys have been busy as always. You guys are always doing things, but I think you're working on new music, working on a new video. Kind of bring us up to speed and what's going on in the world of Gemini Club right now.
We're releasing a video with Red Bull for the Sound Select for a song called Sparklers that will be out in August. We are working on new music. We've been at CRC tracking for some upcoming singles that probably will be working with Red Bull on.
Nice. And you're at CRC, Chicago Recording Company?
Right.
Is this the first time you guys have recorded there?
No, Dan works there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Right.
Yeah.
So, we've been doing a lot of, in the direction we were going with the EP, moving more towards just a lot of live instrumentation. Almost everything, is going through a mic at one time or another. So.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously just running joke in this podcast, but I think at some point you guys work a quote-unquote DJ band, or what someone would call a DJ band. But it really does feel like you're moving towards a much more organic, instrumental kind of approach.
We are. And, we could go on and on about dubstep and trap and everything. And, there was a time when a band like us and the world of DJs wasn't so far apart.
Right.
But now it's sort of everyone get into their corner, and we're trying to find ways to expand using technology in a way that is a lot more live and is a lot more truly rock and roll, as opposed to just kind of putting an electric guitar on a house beat.
Right. So does that mean that there's not going to be a Gemini Club trap album? That's what I was waiting.
Never say never.
We already made it. It got scrapped.
Oh.
Yeah,
I was hoping for a 5 CD box set.
We had a record
traps.
called ASAP. This is a 10-song trap record.
Okay.
Dan and I loved it. The boys hated it. We scrapped it.
Gordon thought it was too good and thought the world wasn't ready for it.
Not ready for it.
Yeah, it's like Brian Wilson's Smile.
Yeah.
It'll come out in 2050.
So 50 years from now. Yeah. Well, that's
we
awesome.
recorded the whole thing on a submarine.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, the same one they used to film The Hunt for the Red October.
So
that
historic.
actual submarine.
Very organic.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think we got some uranium poisoning, but
I mean, that's rock and roll.
We'll live.
So,
We also rubbed crack on all the mics before we...
I just
to make sure.
I rubbed it into my body. So
Gordon,
it was a very inspired record for me.
Gordon, we haven't heard from you.
You haven't heard from me?
Not yet.
Where you been?
I've just been smoking crack.
So,
That's not true.
That's
None of the
working
band
on new
members
music.
smoke crack.
yeah. Gordon got his green card.
Gordon got his green card, man. That is my favorite movie of all time.
That would actually be a pretty cool movie.
Working on the new music, it sounds like you guys, I think you said you're going to be doing singles. Is it not going to be an EP or an album? It's going to be individual releases, you think?
That's the idea now. We've been talking about it, and the idea of an album as a work is, I still think very valuable. But I feel like you build up to one thing for an album, and then you have 3 months, and then you go on tour, and then you wait a year and do something else. And I feel like it's more on the fly, and it's more indicative of how we feel as artists at the time. So from month to month you change, but if you only get to do one piece of work a year, I feel like it's more fun, it's less stressful, and it also keeps you a little more current because you're always putting something out.
Yeah.
I mean, that isn't to say we're not going to have a record or all those songs won't turn into a record, but yeah, we're definitely going to be putting out singles before we put out a record.
I think it's a much better model at the moment. I mean, that's what hip hop's been doing forever. And you look at how well that works out for so many hip hop artists, even so many local hip hop artists, versus like putting out an album where it is this kind of huge body of work that you're supposed to kind of like live off of for 6 months to a year to a year and a half, and that's a long time now. It's a long time in like the modern world of music.
It's also a better way to gauge of like the response of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right. So you put something out and the response is like great. You're like, okay, cool, we're on the right track. Or maybe we try something a little more weird that gets some not a good response or a good response. Whatever. It just is a better way to measure your work.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I don't know how you feel.
I totally disagree.
One, you can get like this social
Nothing new.
response. You can have
Nothing
people
new.
like
No,
responding in real time, on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and all those kind of things. And you mentioned that you guys were doing the video for Sparklers. Is that done?
It's done.
We're actually
We
going
shot
to
it.
see the first cut after this interview. We
Wow.
haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see it. It was a really cool experience.
We all have
And
cameos in it.
yeah,
We'll have
Are you guys not leads in it?
No.
No?
no, there's not much of a performance piece in it.
It
from
is
the
not
band,
at all.
But I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to put it out.
Nice. When do you think that we're going to start hearing some of the new Gemini Club music, maybe some of the new singles, like before the end of the year or
August probably.
August?
August or September for sure.
Yeah.
We'll be putting out a new single.
And something else I wanted to ask you guys about too, like from the, I'm not prying into numbers or anything like that, but from the business side, it seems like Gemini Club has been doing really well in terms of like you guys doing a lot of performances, a lot of DJ sets with various like, kind of one-off events, working with some brands, like doing things like that. Like, how did that start happening for you guys? Because I think that that's a really great business model for a group now, for a band.
I think if there's one, I think a lot of people talk about the old model is dead, and
Right.
the collapse and everything, and the only thing that I can point to as sort of a light at the end of the tunnel is this sort of partnering with brands and things like that. And if a company like Red Bull, we're part of their marketing budget, and that allows us to write the music that we want and do everything that would otherwise be part of the traditional record industry, but without worrying about a label folding or like way too little marketing budget from them, and
Being tied into a contract for 4 years, or 6
forever,
years, yeah.
and it's a
Dropping
lot,
you whenever
and it's
they
a lot
want.
more, artist friendly, and it's hard to see anything other than that being kind of the new model.
Yeah, and I think it's really like, I think if this was happening in the 90s, people would be like, sell out, like burn your house to the ground.
I know, and
those are the same people that are spending $30 for double records, It's
Yeah.
like, we can fucking say what we want in this. It's not public television.
No.
Yeah.
Public internet.
Yeah.
This is hood internet.
Boom. Shut up.
Fuck.
No, but it's the same. But the same people that said there was a sellout in the '90s were also spending $25 to buy "All Eyes on Me" by Tupac. I mean,
Right.
We're making this show is free tonight.
Yeah.
All you have to do is RSVP. This model isn't only good for artists to put on music; it's better for fans.
No, and I think it's really cool. I think that if partnerships or alliances or teaming with a brand for a one-off or even multiple projects, if it's done right, like it really feels like these Red Bull Sound Select events are. I've gone to a couple of them and I've had a great time. But not just these, but if it feels like if they're done right, it is a really great value for the band, for the fans. It's a great experience, and that's what we need more of in the music business. We need something where the artist and the audience walks away feeling like, man, this is a great experience.
And then the Red Bull. So I was talking to my dad. He's like, Red Bull, right? You guys working with Red Bull? And I'm like, well, they sent Felix Baumgartner to space just to jump out of it.
Yeah.
And that's just an example. They just want to see cool things done by cool people, and they just want to put their sticker on it. Red Bull doesn't want to get into the space business. They just want to provide people who have a vision and the talent to pull it off that opportunity.
Well, Gemini Club goes without saying. We've had you guys on the podcast so many times. It's like I've gotten to watch you guys grow up. You've gotten to watch the podcast grow up, and
Your
it's
first
great.
interview we did on the radio.
Yeah, and so I'm really excited to see, like I always say, but great things happening for you guys. Always exciting to see. I'm glad that you're doing this work with Red Bull. I'm glad that you've got new music coming out, and I'm glad you're performing tonight here at House of Blues for Red Bull Sound Select.
And I'm glad you're here, Jaime.
I am glad that I'm here too. I think that you
Very
guys.
glad you're here.
I think you guys are responsible for bringing us into this. Is that what you said, Tom?
No.
I thought you said that you recommended that we be
Just say
part
yes.
of the
Oh no, it was something. I was like, yeah, you gotta have Jaime there.
Oh, dude.
And it's
Well,
your skill and ability.
It's always love, man. Gemini Club, I can't wait to hear some new stuff. Can't wait to inevitably party with you guys at CMJ and or South by Southwest.
Of course.
Woo!
Awesome, man. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.